Uncle Ben said to Spider-Man that with great power comes great responsibility. But also remember that with great challenges comes great opportunities. So if you want to know about the challenges and the opportunities, check out the full video. Hi guys, Rachana Ranade here and I welcome you all to a fundamental analysis of HDFC Bank. I just said in the beginning of the video that if there are some challenges, then ideally these challenges can be converted into opportunities. What challenge is India or any other country in the world facing right now? No need for me to tell that, but of course it is COVID. What has happened because of it? You might be in a position to know that India has already contracted its GDP by 23.9%, and even if you talk about other developed economies in the world, they have contracted so much. Isn't that a challenge? Yes, it is. But then how can we convert this challenge into an opportunity? Everyone might be aware that many countries in the world are now wanting to shift from China to some other country in the world. And which other country is that? Obviously, people are wanting to shift to India. So could that be a positive point for us? Could that be an opportunity for us? Very well. Are there any other opportunities right now? Obviously, yes. If I talk about India, healthcare sector is some sector which is seeing a big boost right now. If the boost is there in the healthcare sector, pharma companies, they might be in a requirement of a loan. Which sector is going to get boosted because of this? Obviously the banking sector again. Okay, so healthcare demand rises, they require a loan, they'll go to a bank. In return, banking sector will also increase. Second, agriculture sector is also boosting. Government is giving them a lot of considerable funding. Almost 10,000 crore rupees of funding is being given by the government. If I'm talking about MSME, that is micro, small and medium enterprises, they have government has also said that they are going to provide 100% guarantee for loans of 3 lakh crore rupees. So with all these things in picture, I definitely can feel that the COVID challenge, banking sector definitely has an opportunity to convert this challenge into an opportunity. You might be wondering now that why have I chosen HDFC Bank as today's topic? Understand, while I was looking through the net, I found this, that Nifty, 52-week high for Nifty was 12,430. As on 22nd October, as I am recording the video, today's price level is 11,882. Okay. Now, what is the difference between 52-week high and today's position? It's just 550 odd points away from the 52-week high. But if I am talking about Bank Nifty's 52-week high was 32,613 and today it is around 24,500 only. So, here the gap is almost 8,100 points. So, now if like Nifty has almost reached its 52-week peak, if Bank Nifty were to move back to its 52-week high peak, then there can be one bank which can really help to reach its goal. Which bank is that? That is obviously HDFC Bank. If you open an account in Zerodha using my link, which is given in the description, you will be eligible to receive benefits worth rupees 2,100 from me. Well, just check out this graph. This graph talks about the total credit given by a country as percentage of its GDP. Okay, so if you see, Japan is at 380.7. It's as good as if the country's GDP is 100, they have given a loan, cumulative loans worth 380. That's like 3.8 times the GDP of the country. If I compare this with India, India is just at 125.5. So this graph easily shows us how much potential we have to grow in the banking sector. If I talk about this second graph, which talks about the industry trends, growing the Jan Dhan accounts in India. In 2014-15, we had only 15 crore Jan Dhan accounts, and today, 1920, we have almost 38 crore Jan Dhan accounts. More and more Jan Dhan accounts are opened. Obviously, more and more people are coming in the formalized banking channel, and maybe these customers right now are with nationalized banks. If they don't like the services of these banks, finally they are going to shift into private sector banks only, right? The third chart that you can see here right now, third graph, talks about growing acceptance of digital payments in India. Again, you can see that in 2016-17, digital payments were only 17.9% volume-wise, and value-wise, there was 69.5%. But that has drastically grown. You can see in 1920, it is as good as the highest. So, more and more digital payments take place. More and more, it is a sign of people coming into the formalized banking sector. Let's understand the history of the bank. In 1994, when privatization was in full swing, HDFC Bank got an in-principle approval to start a bank. In the same year, Mr. Aditya Puri was invited to act as an MD of the HDFC Bank when he was previously working with Citibank. In 1995, they actually got the RBI banking license. So they got a banking license which is given by RBI. In 1997, what happened was company came into news because of its cost-cutting measures. One of the very different cost-cutting measure was that they asked their employees to bring from their own home tea and coffee cups. Can you believe with this small measure, the bank was able to save more than 50 lakh rupees. That was something interesting piece of information I got about HDFC Bank. Now, in 2000, what happened was that in 2000, they merged with Times Bank Limited, and in 2008, they also merged with Centurion Bank of Punjab. Now, what happened? When these two banks merger took place, HDFC Bank increased its branch network, its geographic reach, its customer base, and also now they had a large pool of skilled manpower. I was recently checking out a video, an interview basically, which Mr. Aditya Puri was giving. He was asked the question that, sir, after you leave the organization, then what will happen to HDFC Bank is a very big question which investors are really worried about right now. He said, do you feel that it is only because Aditya Puri is there in the bank, that is why the bank is working over? That doesn't happen. He said, so for example, when I go for a lunch, does the bank stop working? No. If I go home early, does the bank stop working? No. So he said, Mr. Puri said that, I am a part and parcel of the bank, but I am not equal to the bank, right? He said that there are so many people in the organization who work for the bank in and out, who help in the strategy making. He said, I definitely contribute to the bank, but don't equate me directly with the bank. But then still the question is there with many people that after Aditya Puri, what next? So for you all, I think this is a very important slide which we are going to talk about, very important part of the video that we are going to talk about. Mr. Sashidhar Jagdishan is going to be the new MD and CEO of the bank for a period of 3 years, beginning October 27th, 2020. So I'm shooting this video on 27th October, this is going to happen. Okay, who is Mr. Jagdishan? I'm going to quickly tell you about him. He joined the bank in 1996. HDFC he has joined in 1996, starting only as a manager in the finance department. Look at the journey. 1996, a manager in the finance department. In 2008, he becomes the CFO of the bank. In 2019, he is a person who is now handling additional responsibilities like legal, secretarial, HR, corporate communication, infrastructure, admin, CSR. My God, that's too much. He has an overall experience of 30 years in the banking industry, out of which 24 years experience is with HDFC Bank only, right? So I think this is a very big point, and I think much more important point is that he is a chartered accountant. When me and my team were researching about where did HDFC Bank name come from, we found out a very interesting piece of information. Mr. Deepak Parekh, who was the chairman of HDFC, the holding company, which is a non-banking financial company, he was worried, the chairman was worried that the bank should not be named as HDFC Bank because just in case the bank doesn't perform well, then the goodwill of the parent company might be hampered. So we came across this book which is titled as A Bank for the Buck, which mentions that few names which were shortlisted for HDFC Bank at that time were Everest Bank of India, Greater Bank of Bombay, Bombay International Bank or Bank of Bombay. But finally, Mr. Deepak Parekh said that, okay, let's give it a try and let us name this as HDFC Bank only. Who knew at that time that this bank would really create wonders? In the Q2 results of FY21, we found this data that bank has a nationwide distribution network of more than 5,430 branches, more than 15,000 ATMs and presence in more than 2,800 cities. That's big. Okay, if I talk about the business of the bank, you can see that there are 4 major business segments. If I'm talking about wholesale banking, the major target base are large customers like large corporates, MNCs, government bodies. Now, what type of loan do they take? They take working capital loan, project finance, supply chain finance, cash management and all that. The total percentage share in profitability is around 33% for wholesale banking. For retail banking, this percentage is 25%. Now, who is the target base here? Target base are individual borrowers, salaried people, micro, small, medium sized businesses. Okay, what type of loans do they take? They take auto loans, personal loans, home loans, all these stuff. If I talk about treasury, the share in the percentage of profit is 18%, where the target customer is like the custodian of the bank's cash. So it's not exactly a targeted customer, but mainly the role is the custodian of the bank's cash, liquid assets and all that. And the services provided are foreign exchange, derivatives, solutions on hedging strategies. And if I'm talking about other banking operations, it's 24%. Let's understand the shareholding pattern of the company. If you check out here, the company's promoters hold 26% of the total share, FIIs hold around 37%, mutual funds hold around 13.95%, insurance companies 4%, non-institutions are just 13.65%, others and other DIs put together are somewhere around 23%. Well, this data is from BSE India directly, and this is the latest shareholding percentage as on September 2020. Let's start with the financial analysis now. First, we are going to start off with P&L analysis. I think 3 points are very important in bank's P&L. One is interest earned, one is interest spent, and last one is the PAT margin. If I compare a YOY percentage, the interest earned has gone up by 5.75% and their interest spent has gone down by 3.38%. Obviously, this will lead to an increased PAT margin. If I am talking about a QOQ comparison, the movement in interest earned, that is a negative growth of minus 1.88%. So in simple words, their interest earned has gone down, but the good point is that their interest expended has gone down further to minus 3.69%. So if you check the PAT margin QOQ basis, quarter ended 30th June, it was 18.91% PAT margin, but 30th September Q2 ending is 20.06%. So obviously their PAT margin has increased. If I'm talking about the deposits have grown on a YOY basis by 20.32%. Even the reserves and surplus have gone up on a YOY margin by 19.59%, and even their advances have grown by 14.94%. All in all, good numbers. CASA is also at 42%, which is again good, because more and more CASA, current account and saving account percentage is there, their cost of funding goes lower. One more point which I found out is that the capital adequacy norms, minimum capital, how much they must have as per the Basel III guidelines, it is 11.075%, but the bank has a capital adequacy ratio of 19.1%. So all in all, as I mentioned, good points, but this is only HDFC Bank. How about its peers? So what I've done is I just try to compare HDFC's performance with its 3 major peers, which is ICICI, Axis and Kotak Mahindra. So which are the important points? First one is gross NPS. Gross NPS, obviously lower the better, and HDFC has the lowest gross NPS as compared to all its peers. If I am talking about net NPS, again it is lowest as compared to all its peers. One more point I would like to quickly add up here is that they recently came up with their Q2 results, and in which they said that we have done a higher NPA provisioning as compared to whatever RBI gave as a guideline. So what will happen? Let us say RBI said that X provision needs to be done. They have done X plus something as a provision. So with this, what will happen is that their Q3 profitability, quarter 3 profitability might be a shade higher, because they have already done a higher NPA provisioning for this quarter. If I talk about the provision coverage ratio, it is the second best. ICICI has the highest provision coverage ratio. If I am talking about operating profit, again, operating profit is the highest. So all in all, if I am comparing the major parameters like gross NPAs, net NPAs, operating profit margin, in all, HDFC is at number 1, and if I am talking about provision coverage ratio, still HDFC is at number 2. I hope you have enjoyed this analysis. Don't forget to share this video with at least your mom or sister or your special friend or whatever. The main intention is that to increase the financial literacy awareness about this beautiful world of stock market amongst women. So I hope you will help me in this mission. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.